just found out that this is mental health month. People are actually struggling a lot, and there are just a lot of people that need to be heard, need to know that they are not the only ones going through what they are going through. They need to know that, oh, someone else is there for me, or someone is there to listen to me, someone I know is also going through the same struggles as I am going through, and things like that. So one thing I have learned over time was I learned to start checking up on people I actually love. Like before, I'm just like, oh, you don't check up on me, there's no point of checking up on you, so everybody just did their day. But after a while, I just started thinking that people are actually going through deep shit. Like people are going through actual shit, and I'm like, you can't be selfish and then just keep to yourself. And when you know you can be the cause of someone's mood being lifted up, why go ahead to just back off? So after watching Kamsin Amani's video, I'm just like that. Yeah, why not also film a video also talking about mental health? So I actually don't put my struggles. I mean, I put my struggles online. This year, I decided to be more vulnerable, more open to things I go through, so people will know they are not alone. So yeah, let's go. At first, I started with writing it down, like writing down things I can remember that may have affected me, like that may have affected me real bad. And I just found out that in as much as I don't talk about my struggles, things that have affected me are quite a number of them. Like things that may have put me into the position I was when I was growing up. Okay, so it starts with when I was like 4, 5, 6 years old. I've always been a smart child. I'm like quite knowledgeable in the inside of my head. Just know that I probably went through a lot as a child growing up, but obviously I've not gone over it yet. I've not gotten over it yet, so I'm not going to be sharing that. So I'm just going to be giving you things that I can share, and things that I just laugh at now, and things that are still hurting me, but I just cry over it and I just let it be. Okay, so when I was let's start with when I was like 9 years old. So when I was about 9, I was in GS1, and I didn't go to the same school. I didn't start with the same school as my sister. When I was in GS1, I didn't start with the same school as my sister. I was in another school because my dad wanted to try out another school. So he's like, yeah, just put her in another school, let's see how it goes. And if it goes fine, my brother will probably attend the same school I attended, because one of my aunties suggested it, and then he was like, okay, fine, let's go with it. Fine and good. So that was what happened, and something just blew. That's why I moved that time. So that was what happened. So, and little did he know that in that school, like, it's a dorm. Like, I've always been because that was in GS1, like 9 years old. So it's like a dorm, and then in the dorm they mix, like, okay, so I was in GS1 here, GS1, GS2, and seniors like SS2, SS3, few seniors in the room. So in GS3, and that block has GS3 and SS1, and then few seniors there too. And that block has mainly just SS2, and another block has mainly just SS3. Okay, so that was what happened, yeah. And then GS1 coming newly, I shaved my hair, I barbed my hair. Whoever knows me, I'm always barbing my hair. Like, I can say I want to barb my hair now, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. Like, I wake up in the morning. When I was even in primary school, I woke up one morning and I told my mommy, please cut my hair for me. Like, I've always been like that. So I've always been a very impulsive person. So I'm like, okay, I barbed my hair when I was going to GS1. And then going there, I didn't know how to live in the midst of in the midst of strangers. My family is quite large, so we are like an extended family, and I'm used to living with a couple of people, but I'm not used to living with people who boss me around. So one time I washed my underwear, and then I put my underwear, like I didn't know where to hang it because obviously I'm just coming. So our bed was like bunk, and then the bunk was like rods underneath the bed, and then I had a senior as my bunkmate and SS3 student, and then I was in just one. So bunks were like that, and then they just like they flipped, like I just hung my stuff like on the bunk, and then I put my bed over it, and then I went to school. So she sent one of my setmates to come and call me from school, and yeah, they called me from school, and then only for her to bring out all the clothes I put under the bed, and then she told me to lie down on the floor. Then she poured them on me, telling me that I was going to stay there for a long time. That why would I hang? That was my first ever experience when it came to bullying, because that was the first time anyone would ever like bully me. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to stay there for a long time, put all my wet clothes on me, laid me down on the floor, told me to stay like that. And then I was just like, oh, I don't know why this thing is actually still hurting me, like up till now. I don't know. Even when I was writing it down, I was tearing up, and I'm still actually tearing up. I don't know why it's still hurting me. But then I was like, that around that period, obviously there is no phone to call your parents, no nothing, no whatever. Then, oh God, I swear, I've passed the stage. I'm already 20 years old, for crying out loud. So no phone to call your parents, nobody to report to, no nothing. So I went to cry my tears downstairs with an ice cream man. I remember the ice cream man was like my best friend when I was in that school. Whenever something happened, I always like stayed close to him. He gave me free ice cream, comforted me, told me don't worry, you just go home for holiday and things like that. So I was just, and then though my mommy always came for me every Wednesday, she always came to school every Wednesday, because she's like, that's well, I'm just one, I'm still young, so she has to be seeing me to be sure everything is okay. I couldn't really report what was happening around me. I just had to like play along. And then since no outside food was allowed, she always told seniors to sneak it in for me, so I'll eat, because I wasn't used to eating other people's food. So I eat and things like that. I always told her that I was bullied, but I didn't tell her who bullied me, not knowing that the senior she always sent to like give me the food and stuff were actually the ones bullying me. But funny enough, they became less brutal when they saw my mom was actually coming every Wednesday, and they became kinder to me, because they knew that they will actually get something out of what was coming. So they became kinder to me. I feel like that's the reason. But in just one, I actually felt a bit ugly. That's the first time I ever felt ugly in my life, in just one, because they always favored this particular girl in my set, because she was like fair, she looked like a half caste, she was pretty. So like all the seniors in that dorm were like her school mothers, so they always favored her and things like that. So that was the first time I ever felt ugly. Then fast forward, so my first experience with bullying, I think that's how all these things started, because there's really no one you can run to. Even the house mistresses they put you under, you can't actually say anything, because they give these people cane. I know they permitted the prefects in that school that time to hold canes. Prefects are going to wipe your ass. I'm like, you are a child as I'm a child. Because of a senior did this to you doesn't mean you should do it back to me. I can remember one girl in my set that time, a senior beat her to the extent that the senior actually beat her eye, and then that eye actually got swollen. It was just a mad something. So fast forward, I left the school after the several reports of me being bullied, and then I just told my dad that I can't be in that school, I have to go. I left the school first first term GS1. So I went to do another. So I experienced so much first term GS1, and then I went to another school for my second, third term to like actually graduated the whole high school, middle school, secondary school, primary, junior school. So I was in another school throughout. Like I stayed in another school permanently throughout. So in that school I was a bit more vibrant because my sister was there prior, so she already like since she was a senior, nobody actually bullied me. The only person that attempted bullying me was my setmate, because no matter how much people actually try to hide this, in sets there are actually people that bully. So people, like I was a very short kokolo girl with my hair scraped. So people actually tried to bully me in GS1, but my sharp mouth was still there. I'm like, I can't allow my setmate to bully me, so it didn't actually happen. But GS1, GS2, GS3, SS1, SS2, SS3, I never experienced bullying ever again. So fast forward to the next time I felt like my mental health was actually being played with was when it comes to body shaming. So in body shaming, I'm not the best figure when it comes to the criteria for being okay. So in GS3, I remember GS3 I was like 11, 12 thereabout. So people around GS3, a lot of people are experiencing puberty and some of us are not, and I was part of the few not experiencing puberty. So GS3, people already had breasts, people had asses, people were looking okay, they started looking mature, but I was still looking flat back and front. This is me quoting someone. So I can remember GS3, I was eating, like this is an experience I can never ever forget. So I was eating, I don't know why my eyes are peppering me. So I was eating, and then I was eating rice, and is it ofada stew? Because I know they gave us a lot they gave us like one stew that looked like ofada stew a lot in that school. I was about to mention what school, but thank God I did not. Anyway, so I was eating rice, and then that's how this boy just walked up to me. Like, note, I did not, like, he's not someone I was very familiar with. I just knew his sister because his sister was my sister's set. So that was all. It was not someone that I'll constantly hang out with. It's not someone that I'll constantly talk to, because I was a very shy person in GS1, GS2, but I was teacher's pet. But I always avoided conversations with opposite sex. So I don't really have a lot of guy friends in GS1 and GS2, even in GS3. Till I graduated, I actually did not have a lot of guy friends. So that's how one guy just walked up to me, and then he was like, that, see as you are flat. Then I tried to act as if I did not understand. And then he was like, that back, you don't have anything. Front, you don't have anything. I'm like, I was just ignoring him. Then he picked up a grain of rice from what I was eating. Then he showed me this grain of rice. This rice, this is how your nipple looks like. Yeah, I swear. So I was like, that day I cried. I'm like, I've never been this ashamed. I've never been this embarrassed. I've never been this disgraced. I've never, like, what's happening? I cried like mad. I told God that, look, I did not ask to be flat, but did I, like, will it hurt you to just give me something, like to just give me something to make me not feel like I am, not feel less of a person? I actually cried a lot. That day I cried to God. I'm like, God, no, this is it, I can't take this again. That's why would somebody just walk up to me and call me flat? Why would somebody just walk up to me and embarrass me like that? Like, I reported to my teacher, but reporting to my teacher was not enough, even though he punished him. Because I was like, I'm like, I was 11 or 12. How can you just walk up to me and say something like that? Like, people even experience late puberty, 15, 16 years old, and you are telling me that I'm flat, my nipple is the size of a grain of rice. I swear I cried that day. I begged God. I'm like, God, please, God, please, God, please, God, please. Finally, God answered my prayer. So come SS1, after everything, change of uniform, all of us came with, we're no more wearing pinafore, we came with waistcoats, blazers, skirts. I took my waistcoat measurements when I was in GS3. So come SS1, my waistcoat could not size me again because I had a lot of things going on here. So God finally breasted me, blessed me with the breast I was asking for. But you know when they say be careful of what you wish for, I should have been more sensible when I was crying to God and asking him. Maybe I should have asked him for bum bum too. But I forgot to include that in my prayer because I was moved to ask for only breasts. So I was, come GS1. I become SS1. I was finally busty. People were like, Moya, how did your breasts go? Blah, 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 blah. How come you just came back like GS3? You were like this. Now you just came back like this. I was just smiling. I was happy. Blah, blah. Until what kind of shifted. Then it's finally started with, why do you have big breasts and flat bum bum? Now it was not okay. Like, it was not okay to have breast again, but you had to have ass. And yeah, I wasn't qualified as a body image standard. So I was like, yeah, no problem. Well, you know, it's so funny how a lot of things are actually, like, a lot of things that are hot when it comes to body shaming is they always come from your friends or from your family members. Like, they will hurt a little bit less if it came from someone you didn't know. No, even if it came from someone you didn't know, it will still hurt. I can remember something like that happened to me when I entered 100 level. So when I was in SS3, when I was graduating, during our Thanksgiving ceremony from SS3, I had this friend. So he told me, no, we're approaching each other. So I was coming from this direction, he was coming from that direction. Honestly, whenever people offend me, I never forget. Like, I never ever forget. I'm not keeping malice, I'm not keeping anything. They are just things that just never leave my head. He was coming, I was going during my Thanksgiving, so I wore white, and then here was like net, so it showed like my cleavage, and it was kind of nice. So yeah, when we saw each other, we greeted each other, we hugged, and then he was like, Amuya, you look good though. But when he turned over, I was just like, getting that comment from him, like, don't compliment me and then now go ahead to body shame me. And he was like that, oh, you look so good from the front, but from the back. I was just like, chai. I'm like, what? No, what is that supposed to mean? But because of that day was a joyous day, I just laughed about it. I not said anything. Even up to now, I still laugh about it because I'm like, I never expected it from him. But people will always be people, and they think it's a joke. But meanwhile, it's not a joke. And they don't know how insecure you start to feel about some things. And then they actually don't know. They're just saying their mind. And you too, you are just taking it in. And you are just being broken and broken and broken and broken until you finally tear. All the pieces in you has gone. So yeah, and then now fast forward to when I was in 100 level. When I was in 100 level, I went to a school that doesn't allow trouser. I'm not sure if I should name the name of the school. I went to a school that doesn't allow trouser, so we all had to wear skirts, and I didn't really think much of it. Obviously, we have to wear skirts. So at first, I started with wearing long skirts, like very long skirts, very flare long skirts, because I was ashamed of my bum bum. Then later, second semester, I started wearing more bodycon looking skirts, and then I'm like, okay, no pee. Then one day I was walking with my friend and we're going to buy something in the shopping complex, so we had to pass one other lecturing center, and that lecturing center is filled with people that actually study religion, that are studying religion. So yeah, and I was on a call with my dad. Notes, I was on a call with my dad, and these people that study religion, no offense, but they look like staffs. So yeah, when they called me, I was kind enough to end the call with my father and say, I'll call you back. So I answered them, and then they were like that, do I know how I was walking? And I'm like, I even thought they were joking, like they were trying to joke. Like, do I know how I was walking? I'm like, no. Like, you are walking like somebody that needed to use the toilets, blah 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 blah. And then I'm like, okay. Then they're like that, you know, it's not everybody that this skirt is made for. This kind of skirt does not fit your kind of body. That I don't know who bought this skirt for you. That you know how you look, blah blah. Like, these people, you called me. I was on a call with my father. You called me to insult me about the way I was created. So what, I don't understand. Like, what should I do? Okay, God created me this way. I should be telling him that, God, do you know what you created? You created an ugly looking person. Like, please, for crying out, like, for God's sake. I didn't beg to have more boobs than us. I mean, I begged God to have boobs, but I didn't know it would turn to something that will be a constant conversation or will be a constant embarrassment of the way I actually look. Like, for heaven's sake. So I'm just like that. After that, me and my friend, we left after they finished embarrassing me. You called me to embarrass me. I don't know you. You don't know me. You called me to embarrass me. Fine, I'm good. God bless you. I see that the religion you are studying is actually helping you make people feel bad about themselves. No problem. So, me and my friend Michelle left. And then, yeah, she started actually laughing about it. That what kind of nonsense is that? That why would they just call you to say that kind of thing? So she saw it as a joke. But me actually took it quite personally, because you are not going to be the first, and neither will you be the last. I can't constantly be embarrassed about how I look, and I can't anyway. That was my next. So anyway, I think, you know, something about mental health is that it doesn't even have to, it's just a compilation of things that happen around you, and before you know it, you lack self-confidence, you lack self-worth, you lack happiness, you are suddenly depressed, you are suddenly anxious, you are suddenly feeling worthless. You are just suddenly in a state of, confusion. Like, okay, what is going on around me? So I think the next thing that may have caused one of the things I probably went through mentally, the next thing that would have caused it would have been my grades. So when I told you I'm a very smart person, but when I got to junior school, when I got to junior school, I became dumb. I just became unserious, and then I started getting low grades. Like, when I was in the first school before I transferred to the school I graduated from, that school was the first time I ever got 50-something%. I was shocked for myself. I'm like 50 something percent. Wow. That was the first time I ever got 50 something percent. And then I couldn't say anything about it, obviously. And I was scared. I was scared to my bones. I was scared. I was just like, Daddy's going to kill me. Daddy's going to kill me. Like, that's all that was going through my head. Daddy's going to kill me. Daddy's going to kill me. Daddy's going to kill me. And obviously, your parents are not going to kill you. Like, I'm still alive. But I was just like, cause my daddy is so keen on education. He doesn't want his children dumb. Like, African parents are like that. You know how they take education seriously. So I was just like, Daddy's going to kill me. Daddy's going to kill me. Like, I kept on saying to myself, oh my God, Daddy's going to kill me. Daddy's going to kill me. So that's how it started. And then, like, throughout my junior school, I never got above 60 something percent. Though I got 70 something percent once, but I never got above 60 something percent. So, but people always thought I was smart because I never actually let them know that I was actually that dumb. So yeah, every time I came home with 60 something percent results, I like, even before I stepped down from the car, I'll start crying. I'm like, oh God, like, I'll be begging my grandma, I'll be begging my grandfather, please help me beg daddy not to beat me, help me beg daddy not to beat me. I'll roll on the floor, I'll be pleading, please I beg you, please I beg you, please I beg you, I don't want anybody to beat me, God please I was always crying. Even like, I was just like, it was just horrible. It was just horrible. Like, even before I get my results, I'm so like, my body is shaking because I know I didn't do well. My body is shaking. I get home, my body is shaking. My daddy comes back, my body is shaking. I'm not only getting punished by my mom, I'm getting punished by my dad because of bad grades. I was just like, and then everybody would have be chanting 60 something percent. My name in the house when I was in school, when I was in elementary school, was 60 something percent. 60 something percent, you are eating. 60 something percent, this, 60 something percent, that. And I was just always smiling because even though I didn't find it funny, well, my grade is actually 60 something percent. So what do I have to say about that? It's not like I can shout at them, stop calling me 60 something percent. They're like 100% this, and that. Like your constant words, just like, even when everything just kept on ringing in my head, I just felt like 60 something percent. Like, I felt like a 60 something percent. Like, that is my word, 60 something percent. And this is slightly above average. So that's how I felt. And then I always wanted to prove my worth. I always wanted to look, I'm better than this. Look, I'm not 60 something percent. When I went to university, I was like, fuck it. I'm going to get first class. I'm going to graduate in first class. Everything's going to be good. Everything's going to be fine. Don't worry, I'm going to prove myself. Like, on the top of my list, on top of my to-do list, when I entered university, was to prove daddy wrong. Prove everybody wrong. Prove people that doubt me wrong. Prove this wrong. Prove this wrong. I'm like, what the fuck are you even proving yourself to? Like, why are you proving yourself to anybody? Like, now that I think of it, I'm like, yeah, no wonder I was like that. When everybody around me is constantly telling me, it's constantly making me feel like I'm not good enough. Like, you don't even have to tell me. What you utter are going to make me feel like that. So I was like, okay, no problem, I'll be good. So come first semester, I did well. I got the first class. Second semester, I dropped. 200 level, I dropped. 300 level, I dropped. 400 level, I didn't graduate with the first class. I graduated with the 2-1. And then, yeah, I started fighting with my degree, and I'm still actually fighting with my degree. Ever since I actually got that degree, I've not looked at it to say, yes, I am proud of you. I just look at it and I just feel constant regret, and I'm like, yeah, so much for your first class, so much for struggling for your first class. Congratulations. anyway, ah, yeah, the next thing that may have affected me, like that will have caused my anxiousness, was one time in 2017 when I went to learn how to bake. I went to learn how to bake in one school around my side, because they usually give us a very long summer break in school. So I just went to learn how to bake, and then yeah, a lot of things happened. It's too long to make it a story, like it's so long to impute it here, but a lot of things happened and the place ended up being raided, and yeah, it almost burst into flames, but God saved me. Like I was shaking that day. I'm like I was shaking. I thought I was going to die. Ever since that day, even on a bike, I'll be like, what if I just fall down and die? If I'm somewhere, I'll be like, what if someone just stabs me? I started constantly feeling like I was going to die. Like I am going to die. I'm going to die today. I'm going to die today. I'm going to die today. Like I started feeling like, oh, I will soon die. Oh, I'm going to die. Like it got so bad that whenever I'm like chatting with my brother, I'm chatting with my cousin, or I'm chatting with anybody around that 2018, 2017, I was always telling them that I might never get the chance to tell you I love you, but I love you. I like, in case I die, this is my password. In case this is this. Like I was not at peace. I was not at peace. I started feeling anxious. Like, you know how some things are just meant to be, like they are meant to be taken more seriously than they are actually looked over. So like I just never thought like, oh, being in a situation of closed death will make me feel like I'm always going to have to face something that makes me feel like I'm going to die, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that was one cause of my anxiety. And then next 2020, I got depressed. But up to now, I still don't know how it managed to happen. Like I don't like using the word depressed, because I feel like when people say they are depressed, they are just saying they are depressed, and it doesn't actually matter. Like it doesn't actually mean they are depressed, because depression is horrible. Depression is just horrible. So I feel like, let me just say, 2020, I felt an overwhelming sadness. Yeah, I was overwhelmed with sadness. So 2020, I've already made this my 2020 recap, but 2020 I felt like trash. But do you know, upon all these things, 2020 I felt numb. I didn't feel anything going on around me. Then I also felt like I was going from a cycle of depression, numbness. Like upon all everything, I actually feel like 2021 I have been my best. 2019 I went through low self-esteem. 2020 I went through depression. 2017, 2018 I constantly went through anxiety. All these years I felt worthless. But 2021, ever since I finally decided to own up to how I feel, I finally decided to be nice to myself. Actually, be nice to myself. I feel like I've just been a better person. I've just been the best version of myself. I've just been a better person. So yeah, 2021 I've actually felt so good. So the point of all this, my story, is that you're not the only one going through what you're going through. I know it might sound offensive when some people say, oh, you're not the only one going through what you're going through. But in as much as you're not the only one going through what you're going through, you are the only one that understands what you're going through. And making people constantly see that, oh, look, this is what I'm going through. Most times advices make it worse, advices make it better, but you are the one that knows the best advice to give yourself. Constantly repeat this advice to yourself. I am better, I am beautiful, I am unique, I am bold, I am me, I'm Moyo. No one is taking this away from me. I am intelligent, I am what's more, way more than anybody thinks I'm what. I am me. So just like you're the one that knows the advice that is going to work on yourself. Take your time, clear your thoughts. This is what I'm going through. This is what I am going through mentally. This is what I'm going through. So how do I overcome each of what I'm going through? For me, how I overcame all these things, or how I am in the process of overcoming it, is still kind of a mystery to me, because I feel like I just decided to let go and be me. Let go, feel me, be myself. Let go, be you. Let go, let Jesus in. Let go, let the Holy Spirit in. Let go, be you. Let go, breathe, enjoy. So yeah, so now I'm like in a constant revolving stage right now. When I see myself about to go back to how I always felt, I know how that feels. Like I know, no, after all this progress, I'm not about to go back. No. I try to drag myself back into the state that I find right for myself, because I can't, after all this constant improvement, take myself back and then have to go forward again. It doesn't just make any sense. Like I saw one of these captions in my friend's story that is it self-love? Self-love is a constant commitment. Self-love is a constant progress. Self-love is a constant commitment. So is your mental health. Having a good mental health is a constant commitment. You can't just, one day you're happy, the next day you're sad. Make it an intentional thing to be happy. Make it intentional to feel loved. Even if you don't feel love around your surroundings, you are loved. Like, you are loved. You might not, like, someone doesn't have to constantly tell you I love you. You don't need to have words of affirmation from someone else that you are loved. Know within yourself that you are loved. I love you. I love Moyo. I love myself. I love you. So just be kind to yourself. You are going through something educationally. I am better. I can do better. I will do better. I am constantly growing. I am knowledgeable. I am strong. I am going to pass this stage. I am going to succeed. I am successful. Even speak into your future if you can. Tomorrow is a good day. Yesterday was a good day. Today is a good day. Tomorrow is the best day. Be happy. Look, one other thing I learned this year. I made it an intention to look good every day. So I'm like, yeah, look good every day. When you look good, you feel good. As stupid as that may sound, when you look good, you feel good. You are going through the toughest time of your life. Dress up, look good, feel yourself, you look good, you feel good. And then just be strong. Know that everything is a stage. Everything is a stage. It never actually gets easier. It only gets tougher. In as much as I might be saying that, I've overcome the lack of self-worth, and now I finally feel like I am worth every single dime, every single million, every single dollar, every single whatever. I am worth everything. I'm worth every single thing, every good thing, all the best things in this life. I mean, I may say that to myself today, and then tomorrow something might happen, and then I'll just be like, so things happen, but always make sure you be kind words to yourself. Never actually bring yourself back to the circle you left. Once I leave a circle, I'm never going back there. I am going to constantly improve on myself, and I'm going to constantly grow. So I just want you guys to follow me on this growth process. This is something I've always been wanting to do on my channel. One day I'm going to sit down and think of how I actually came to overcome all these little things around me. I know I still go through them once in a while, but I feel like I'm at a better stage mentally, and I constantly want to be at a better stage mentally. So no matter what, I must evolve every day. I must be better every day. I must be a better person every day. So I want you people to feel like that too. Okay? So yeah, this is going to be a new series on my channel named Grow With Me. So grow with me. Okay? Yeah. So